going on, everyone? Daniel Correa here, Gorilla Blood Radio. I am joined by Scott NDX out in New York City. What's going on, Scott?
I live!
Yes, you live. And the Boobs is off making money, working, doing his own thing. So it's while the cat's away, the mice will play, I guess, to say the least. But we are joined at the moment by one of the biggest rising stars on the independent circuit. He's growing. He's made a couple of appearances overseas. He's made an appearance on WWE TV. He is the Tollman, Kevin Kross. How are you doing tonight, Kevin?
Good evening. Very good.
Wow, man. We've talked to you quite a few times here between this show and the show at PW 24/7. And we're excited to have you back. One of the things that came to my mind just earlier as I'm watching some of your matches from Future Stars of Wrestling, how did you get the nickname the Herald of Doomsday?
Well, like actually all of the names and the monikers that I've been running with, a lot of it surfaces on social media, and the fan base with Future Stars of Wrestling luckily seems to be very social media savvy, so they see the stuff and they come to the shows and they yell it, or vice versa. But this came from a feud I was having with Tyshawn Prince, and this is when the Doomsday Saito was really getting over, and basically, yeah, people just started. It was kind of like a Babe Ruth thing. People were just literally throwing monikers out there, really getting behind me, and it wasn't my idea.
Right on. Now, you mentioned one name that I actually watched the match earlier today, Tyshawn Prince. It had to have been before the number one contendership and you winning the FSW title. But in this match, you guys basically beat the snot out of each other. You guys went through 3 different referees. You physically tossed a trainee of FSW at Tyshawn's head.
Yeah.
And then the whole locker room had to break you guys apart. Like, what's the feud between you guys? Like, what's the beef?
Well, the beef is dead and buried.
Okay.
And it had to go in that direction for me to get to where I am now. But the history within that was basically that Tyshawn was top dog. Any sort of major star that came to town, they had to go through Tyshawn if they wanted to stick around. And he was very much not necessarily a gatekeeper, but he was always in the race for the FSW World Heavyweight Championship. And that was just something that had to happen. And it was very cool because when I first got my start in FSW, he was having a lumberjack match with a guy named Alcatraz, and I was outside the ring, and I was thinking to myself the whole time I was watching the match, I was like, man, the next time Tyshawn and I are in Sam's Town together, I'm going to be in the ring with him. And I'm a very big believer in visualization and strategy and, really believing in your own self-worth and doing your best to project that. And sure enough, the next time him and I were at Sam's Town, we were in a match together. So it was a very cool experience, very surreal.
Right on. And again, if we didn't mention it earlier, Kevin is the Future Stars of Wrestling champion. In 2014, he was the FSW Rookie of the Year. So he's come a long way in just a real relatively short time. Defeated Chris Masters to become number one contender and defeated the Machine Brian Cage to win that title.
At the pinnacle of his career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen him wrestle all over the place. I know he had a short stint in WWE Developmental. He's been off and on with TNA. Lucha Underground is what most people know him as. Now is the Machine. So that's a big deal. He's a big name, up and coming name too, on the main stage too.
Yep, he's the man.
So
100%.
Scott. Uh-oh, did we lose Scott?
Scott is only spiritually with us now.
Uh-oh.
I am still here.
Okay, go ahead. Question for...
Somehow I muted my mic.
Oh, that's fun. So, question for Kevin Kross.
Yeah.
Not yet. I'm still working on it.
He's doing his own thing there. One of the things I've heard, and I know I've seen your videos on the social media. You're very, very big into social media, YouTube videos, things like that. One of the promos that I saw, that I literally watching it today got chills, was the Natural Order promo that you did.
Yes.
I mean, to me, it was one of those situations where now that you're at the top, you've clawed your way up the food chain. I mean, what's that like to look back on this past year and that journey, and like what drove you during that promo?
Well, I think I really try to take advantage of no one being in my ear telling me what to say, what to think, and what to do with the point that I'm at with professional wrestling. And the reason being is because I think that with every major company, that is, fortunately / unfortunately going to be an inevitable circumstance. And, it's... Everyone's so tight-lipped about their own opinions in this business because of the spooky heat. Everyone's so reserved. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'll say this. There's a reason that there are professional wrestlers. There's a reason that there are producers. There's a reason that there are writers. But, professional wrestlers can be creative. They can be very... They, I think, more than anyone, really understand how to engage their audience. And I really feel like, for me personally, when I'm trying to find a point of context when we're doing any sort of promo or any video, it's kind of my philosophy that it's kind of got to be a little bit true. There has to be something involved. And no human being on this planet is good enough flyer or actor or whatever verbiage you like to use. No one's good enough on this planet to take something from absolutely nothing and put it on the table, and everyone's getting it. So to directly answer your question, it's pretty fulfilling to look back and see the body of work that I had before me, and it's all very exciting and exhilarating to think that there's so much more to do, and I'm really looking forward to that. And in terms of that particular promo, Natural Order, all I'll say is that was much what was actually going on at the time.
Right on, man. I mean, it's one of those situations where seeing that, it's nice to actually hear someone tell the truth and be blunt about it, and even for them to somebody to try to censor you from speaking the truth is kind of sad. Did we lose you, Kevin? You there? Nope. All right. Well, we lost Kevin. All right. Here, we're gonna try to get him back on the line here.
Okay. Yeah, I thought something was going wrong.
Yeah, that's something happened with Kevin Kross. We're gonna try to get him back on here in just a second. Yeah. So I mean, it's man, dude. Well, I'm just gonna continue the interview when he gets back on.
Yeah.
So.
Ow, my neck just cracked.
Yeah, because on my side, I mean, it sounded. I mean, the same thing happened last time we talked to him too, a little bit, and I know he's on his phone, so, or that's at least usually what happens. So, Kevin, you there?
Well, speaking of being censored, I guess the FBI is listening to our Skype conversation and just decided to shut us all down. But hello.
Yeah, no, that was very, very odd that that happened. All of a sudden, we're talking about being censored, and then all of a sudden the whole feed goes out, and we cannot even hear you whatsoever. But we got him back. Kevin Kross is on the air with us. But I'm trying to remember where we were going at. But yeah, no, that Natural Order promo was just an amazing one for me to watch. Just for you to be as blunt and tell the truth, and then to get censored just sucks. So, but still, amazing stuff.
Absolutely, and you know what? We didn't talk about this before that or anything. This is the first time we talked today, and this is a perfect example, and you kind of proved my experiment right. I haven't gone out of my way to, specifically promote that particular piece that's up on YouTube, and that stood out to you because of the sincerity that was in it. And that's exactly, that's what my whole point was. There's always, there seems to be this stranglehold on the creativity of an individual. And I can't speak in generalities because I don't know, and you never hear about this stuff until someone mentions it, but you hear about it and you see it on a particular level. And I'm just very fortunate and very grateful to be working in and around people that don't try to limit me, or as far as I know, anyone around me, in terms of being able to put that out there. And they're in full support of it. So it's awesome. It's awesome at this point. I'm really enjoying it.
Right on. Scott, you got something?
I'm still at a loss right now.
He's in awe of you, Kevin. So we know that you've been a world traveler. Japan specifically, that came to mind. The IGF, working with Inoki. What was that whole experience like? And are there any stories that you want to recount for us? That you can, maybe some road stories or things like that.
Well, speaking of heat, no, I think I had a great time, and I had a great experience going over to Japan and working with the Inoki Genome Federation. That was the very first time I ever worked with a professional wrestling organization from Japan, and I mean, it was life-changing. Not to be over-dramatic or anything like that, but I've always been fascinated with that culture. I've always been a student of their martial arts growing up, from Kyokushinkai to Judo, classic Jiu-Jitsu, Shotokan. It was really, really, really life-changing to go there. And it was like being on another planet. I remember walking on the sidewalk and people were literally parting on the sidewalk as I was walking by, and it was really weird. It was very much kind of like Twilight Zone, but it was awesome. The food there was awesome. The people were awesome. The whole experience was amazing, and I cannot wait to go back.
Nice.
I would love to be able to compete and perform in Japan again. It was, it put my confidence through the roof. I trained differently after that. I thought differently. Everything. I completely changed as a person.
Any one match or competitor stick out as your biggest rival while over there?
Not necessarily, unfortunately. I wasn't there long enough and didn't get a chance to really showcase any sort of history with any one particular person. But Jinder Mahal, Mason Ryan, Mike Knox, they were there with me.
Nice.
They smartened me up to everything that was going on there. We were all traveling together, so that was really awesome. And they kind of taught me exactly what was going on from an internal and an external standpoint, because really, though, there's just everything from etiquette to manners is completely different in Japan. I'll give you an example. If someone gives you a business card in Japan, there's a certain procedure of things that you would do to accept it. As opposed to here in the United States, somebody gives you a business card, you're in the middle of a conversation, you're not really reading the business card, you're looking at it as they're talking to you, and you're going to look at it later when they're not there, put the number in your phone or something, but it goes in your pocket, and you shake hands, and you guys part ways. But in Japan, you're going to hold on to it with two hands, you're legitimately going to look at it, and you're going to look into all of the information, and then you're going to put the card, somewhere else, maybe maybe you have a special container in your blazer pocket that it goes into, or it goes into your wallet. It doesn't go into your pocket like with everything else. It just gets lost. And if you do that, it's a major sign of disrespect.
Oh, wow.
It's very, very offensive. So just something little like that. It would, they taught me a lot.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I defend everyone in Japan, apparently.
Oh man, yeah, no, that's interesting. I didn't know that specifically. That's pretty intense. That respect factor goes even all the way down to just a business card.
Absolutely.
Wow. Now, one of the things I heard on the commentary on your match against Chris Masters was that you have a amateur grappling record of 67-0 or something akin to that. What's your official grappling record outside of wrestling?
I have a ton. I don't know why they said that. I don't know. I'm gonna just set the record straight on that. It's not true.
Okay.
But that's awesome and flattering that they said that. I have a ton of wins and losses from the age of 15 or 16 that I couldn't even tell you. I never went to any grappling competitions. Even necessarily looking to win, if that makes sense. I was going in as a no belt, going into black belt categories, advanced, no-gi, even super heavyweight or open weight. I was going in, and I was a very firm believer. A lot of people instilled it in me growing up that, the belt system is something to honor, and it's something to respect. It's not just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. North Americans unfortunately have used it as a money making system, but in some places a belt really means something, and then in others it doesn't. But at that time in my life, I was a very firm believer in learning the techniques and really believing yourself and finding a way to execute them. And it didn't matter if someone had 15, 20 years and you only had a couple months or a year or 2 years. How hungry are you to stay alive? That's really what I was kind of programming myself to do. And I'm positive that I lost more than I won. But again, what would you expect when you're competing at that level? But I was never submitted. That I can tell you. I always lost by points, transitions, or just a position that I couldn't get out of. So I always prided myself on that. But I will tell you, when I fought bare knuckle, I did actually fight 53-1. And the one was a disqualification. So maybe they got that mixed up.
Oh, okay. Then bare knuckle. Shoot, no. How did you get DQ'd in that one?
They said I fish hooked someone, but that's not true. I did not fish hook anyone.
Boo.
This is a long story. And the guy was a hometown local guy.
Ow.
I got his back, and I was trying to feed through for. It's a long story. I don't even know if I can legally tell it.
Oh man, there might be a little bias for the those judges there and that one. So we'll see. Oh man.
Judges, just one promoter.
The promoter counting points.
It was a ring in the back of a bar.
Oh.
Stains on it from God knows what, and it tried to jump when you were in the ring. Your head would have went through the ceiling. A lot of stupid stuff I did when I was younger that I would never do again. But I was angry at the world, so I don't know. Hey, bare knuckle
supposedly got Wade Barrett into WWE, so hell, it can be a nice little backstory to get you where you need to go. So
yeah, I heard that. I heard he was actually doing that in Russia. I don't know if it was a work, but I'm sure he made a lot more money than I did. So,
Scotty, you there now?
I'm still here.
You got a question for Kevin Kross?
I'm still lost.
Why are you lost?
Like I said, man, I'm not all here right now.
Well, we'll go into Scott's realm here. The people out there don't have the liberty to see this, but on our Skype call, your image is of Zod. What is your fascination with Zod and that situation? Since we can go into the pop culture stuff too.
I set my Skype up a very, very long time ago, and this is before I had anything to do with wrestling or anything on social media, and I went through a very long phase of despising social media and despising the false sense of vanity that everyone had with their pictures and stuff, and I was just heavily revolted by everyone being marks for themselves on Facebook and all the stuff they were doing. So I just put up a picture of Zod to annoy people, And it worked. Every single person that I talked to, I'm talking like when I was like 19 or 20 years old, they were just like, why is that picture up? Like, who is that? What is Zod? Like they got all like defensive about it. It was very odd. It wound up becoming like a really bizarre social experiment, how people got really frustrated by the picture. So I just wound up leaving it up, and I didn't even realize it was up until you said that.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I get upset when people say, who is Zod? I'm sorry. That just annoys me.
You can't say that.
Sorry, Superman 2 is one of my... I grew up on that film.
Yeah.
That still, Christopher Reeves is Superman for me.
Oh, totally.
So the idea of someone goes, who's Zod? Especially when you're old enough to know who Zod is, I want to smack you. Please, just stand still and wait 1 second.
Yeah, I have to leave the room if someone asks me who Zod is. Just periodically. Maybe not even for that long. Maybe 2-3 seconds. I'll come back in.
So you gotta leave the conference like, give me a moment.
Yep.
Alright, now we can talk again.
Yes.
Yeah,
I just had to manufacture in my brain how stupid you are.
Yes.
Kind of sounds to me like one of those moments where you might want to put your fist through someone's head, kind of like you mentioned in that promo against Bobby Roode for GFW.
Yes, Demon Knight.
Yeah. Speaking of GFW, how is that going? Any upcoming shows for Global Force?
Well, man, I definitely can't mislead anybody.
Okay.
So, I have no idea. That's the honest to God answer. I have no clue. The last I had heard was when we did the November show, and I was told that we would be coming back to Las Vegas in January. But as far as I know, as of right now, I don't know of any dates that are set up, and I don't know. I know they had a very successful UK tour. I know that they did that, but from what I gathered, January is going to be the next TV launch. I believe at New Orleans, but again, I have no idea. All I can do is speculate at this point.
Is there one person on the GFW roster that you want to get your hands on?
Bobby Roode.
Aside from Bobby
Roode, I don't even care about the belt. I in the most respectful way that I can say that, I think right now, all things considered, everything I've done, where I've been, where I'd like to go, I got to get back in the ring with Roode, and I got to redeem myself.
Right on. Yeah. I mean, we all know Bobby Roode is a hell of a champion, but man, I'm pulling for you, man. I am pulling for you in that instance, because you've impressed the hell out of me in what I've seen, so that is for sure.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to it. It's in the cards.
Yeah.
It'll happen one of these days.
Right on. Back real quick to FSW. When's the next FSW show? When will you be defending your title next, and against whom?
January 15th at the FSW Arena, which is 6035 Harrison Drive. Major intersection in Las Vegas is Sunset and Eastern. And then we have a show January 30th at the Silverton. I actually have no idea who we'll be defending it against because of Paulie Cover. He really likes to blindside me. He's the commissioner in the company. Doesn't like to tell me anything that's going on. There's going to be some footage that's going to be surfacing over the next little bit. I'll just let you know what wound up happening. So Paulie Cover was doing a Christmas show, and I wound up coming out with Santa Claus. Santa Claus was out there. He's handing out Christmas candy and presents to all the people that were there. And he wound up asking Santa, what was in the bag. Santa's got this big Christmas bag full of gifts. Santa pulls out the FSW World title, and then Santa pulls out an axe out of the Christmas bag, and then proceeds to pull his own face off, and Santa Claus is actually Santa Kross.
Oh.
Me. Yeah, so then I basically started asking people in the audience whether they wanted me to chop off one of his limbs or his head with the axe, and then Paulie Cover actually pissed himself in the middle of the ring.
Nice.
Yeah, and then he proceeded to book me in a 3-on-1 handicap match. So that footage will be surfacing in the next little bit on the FSW channel. I'm assuming maybe 2 or 3 weeks because they're a little bit behind with the frequency of the shows and production and so forth. But I'll be excited to forward that to you once.
Yeah, that one. Just you talking just got me excited for that. That's hilarious. That's pretty damn good. Because, yeah, that's just the commentary and whatnot. It seems like that there's a vendetta against you for some reason in FSW. Like, they don't want you in the top spot for some reason.
Nope. Just another company, man, I guess.
That's crazy.
Man, it's good to be hated sometimes.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, definitely worked for someone like Stone Cold Steve Austin, so...
It sure did.
So... One thing that's kind of crossed my mind just as we're talking here, is there one guy in, like, say, WWE, is there one guy that stands out to you that would be a good competition for you?
I have been saying for the last year that it's Brock Lesnar, and I can't not say that it's not still him. But as of late, I think I'm going to say The Rock.
Ooh.
And I haven't said that specifically for a variety of reasons, but I kind of lost my mind the other day when I saw the media frenzy and the buzz that he was going to be at Mania. And I thought to myself, rather than thinking who was going to be a challenge for me, I was wondering who I could be a challenge for. And, you know, there's a million glass ceilings that you'd have to go through to get a match like that, especially on that stage. But that would be a match, I think, that I would really go after, provided, you know, I had the proper machines behind me.
Yeah.
But I mean, that would be the guy, to be honest with you. Everyone always asks me who, and you know, it's respectfully never anybody I can get my hands on, because if I could get my hands on them, then it wouldn't be them either.
Yeah. Some of those guys are pretty much protected. I mean, I would love to see you run circles around a John Cena or a Roman Reigns, because we all know that you would tie them in knots.
Absolutely.
So, see, now, thought that came to mind just now, a grappling match. I mean, you can call it a wrestling match, but more so ground grappling. Chris Benoit came to mind. And I just thought, man, that would be a good fight for you.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Growing up as a kid, that was always somebody in my head that I would wrestle a million times. I think like anybody, right, that watched him. I've gotten a few comparisons of him to me, and it's been from people that knew him.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was very flattering. So, you know, but yeah, man, what a machine.
Yeah, no, that would be an awesome match to see, because Ed just. I mean, seeing your moveset and his moveset, I mean, I can see the similarities. I mean, I saw you work the crossface. I mean, you're doing the. I mean, he was known for his suplexes as well, and you got the Doomsday Saito, which basically you can hit out of nowhere, which is great. Yeah. Definitely got to be a challenge for you with someone like Tyshawn Prince too, because he's a big dude.
We got him though.
Yeah.
I think I sighted him on a chair too once.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's nuts. But, I mean, any possibility, if Vince McMahon called you today and said, we want to sign you to an NXT contract, would you go? I know, it's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Things are changing. If you would have asked me this 3 months ago, I would have immediately said yes, and I've been asked this for the last year and a half, and I've always said yes. And it's been my number one priority to break down that door since the moment I started training. But something major is on the horizon.
Ooh.
And I can't say anything more than that, but everybody's going to know about it real soon. And that would be the only deterrent from immediately saying yes to that question.
Ooh, awesome.
Something very, very major. So, and I'm really excited about it, but
right on.
it's just not something I can discuss right now.
Well, we get it. You gotta have, everybody's gotta have your secrets and things like that until things come to light. But, man, yeah.
It won't be a secret for much longer, that's for sure.
Great. That's awesome. That is awesome. Scott, are you finally around now? Are you finally got something?
I've been here. It's just, I remember we were talking about whether you would go to NXT or the main roster if you were offered the chance, and how you would go to NXT if you were given a contract through the E.
Yes.
I remember that was something that we actually spoke about in the past. It's interesting how, now that things are changing, whether you would really contemplate that or not.
Yeah, and, the reason being is, everyone wants to work for Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon has monopolized this industry from top to bottom. And, what people say is the only way that you're ever really going to make a living doing this is working for him, because he pays top dollar. And through that company, there are a lot of other endorsements and sponsorships and photo shoots and a million other things and appearances that come with that can provide you with an income. And I never like to talk too much business about it, because believe me, there's not enough money that somebody can actually pay you to get a pile driver on the apron. That's something you wanna be a part of. So it's really not about the money, but to a certain degree, you do know that you should be getting paid more, or you should be getting paid a certain number for what you're doing. And you don't want to just wake up one day and be in your 40s and you've broken every bone in your body, and now it's time to stop wrestling. You have nothing to show for it. No one wants to be in that position. So it's obviously something you have to consider. But what's really important to me right now, more than anything, is being able to project the content from myself that I believe in. And many people will argue that that's not the attitude you should have, that you should be a yes man, and that you should do what you're told, and that's the only way you can get ahead. And I understand that. And for the most part, that's kind of what I do. But I find ways creatively to kind of give people give everybody what they want. And it's very difficult, but I enjoy that challenge. And the direction that I am about to head in right now is going to be a very fulfilling one. It's going to be very enjoyable, and I think that everyone who sees what I'm going to do is going to tell me that I made the right decision. I'm very 100% confident in that. But it's NXT. Obviously, it's incredible. Not to take anything away from it. So,
well, no matter what happens, I think we should start a movement right now today. Hashtag Pay the Tollman.
Absolutely.
I like that. No matter what, hopefully, whatever comes your way, you get paid. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Shoot, man.
Well, wherever you are headed, we will be watching.
Damn straight.
Awesome.
So, man. Well, we'll want to let you go. I know we've had you for a little bit of time here, and the issues with the sound and stuff and connection, and whoever was spying on us to try to censor you from speaking out. I don't know what the hell happened there. But any shows upcoming in the next few weeks? We mentioned FSW coming up in a couple of weeks. Anything else that you might be traveling to?
Yes, but I can't say.
Oh, okay. Some more stuff. More stuff that are okay. So not just little, not indie show necessarily, but maybe we'll see.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I think everyone's gonna be very pleased when they see the final outcome.
Right on. Well, if you want to go ahead, you can plug your social media and on Twitter and YouTube channels and everything like that.
Absolutely. The name is Kevin Kross, Kross. I have a YouTube channel that is completely free. I'm updating it all the time with content, videos, promos, violence. You'll love it. Go on YouTube, subscribe, and share it. I want you to tell all your friends about me. Then go over to Facebook. Please add Kevin Kross. Listen to my rambling and my commentary. I'm going to post funny videos of people slipping on the ice. You'll laugh. You'll show it to your friends. I will contribute entertainment to your life. Then go to Twitter and add Across the World, AKROSS, the world, and see what I'm going to be doing. I may be coming to your town and citing somebody you know.
Nice. And you know what? You had a post the other day, just before Christmas, and before we let you go. It was maybe a little over a week ago now, and it was kind of you looking back on your year, your 2015, and reading that, it kind of it puts it out there that you truly love what you do, and it's so awesome to see that, because over time people get jaded people have their issues with the business and they just do it for the sake of doing it because that's all they know. But it truly sounds like you really enjoy what you do in grappling and kicking people's teeth down their throat and all that kind of stuff.
I absolutely do, and I'm glad that you say it, and I hear that a lot, and that's one of the most fulfilling compliments that I can ever hear, because I can promise everyone, for as long as I live, that I will never be a guy just going through the movements. And I think that sometimes the business, you know, they look past that. People have grown up watching this since day one. They know what they're watching. And I will never be the guy to undermine anyone's intelligence with that. I give people 110% every single time. And thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate that sincerely.
Yeah, no problem. Scott, last chance.
If you run across the East Coast, make sure if you ever run across a referee called Ref Ozzy Rivera, Doomsday Saito him for me.
What about over the third turnbuckle onto the post, and whoever he falls, he falls?
He's a good friend of mine. I don't want him dead.
Okay, all right, so just in the ring.
Yes.
All right, fair enough. I can do that.
Nice. All right. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us here today. We really appreciate you taking the time out. I mean, you're a great friend of the program now, and we look forward to seeing where you end up here in the next few weeks, and that you're basically keeping tight-lipped on. We're looking forward to it wherever it happens to be. So, thank you.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me. This is my favorite program to do always, and looking forward to being back again.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Tollman, Kevin Kross, here on Gorilla Blood Radio. Man, I love this stuff. This Kevin Kross, man, he's a good guy. Good guy, man. So...
yeah, I like having him on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
I just don't know how we keep getting him on the show. He's becoming too big for us now.
Yeah, man, it's one of those things where as time goes on, it's who knows, we may not be able to get interviews with him as often, but he is definitely I definitely would consider him a friend of the program. We've, between this show and Pro Wrestling 24/7, we've talked to him now probably a good 5 to 6 times over the past few months. And every single time we learn a little bit more about him, what makes him tick, what has happened with his career and where he's gone and where he's going. Except for today, we kind of hit a roadblock. So we shall see how things go in the future for him. I can only imagine what could happen. So here's hoping in the next few weeks we'll see what his big surprise is, what he's not able to tell us. I mean, he who knows? We're talking about NXT. Maybe he got signed to NXT. Who knows? We
all I know is it's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, we did see him one time on a WWE show. He tagged with Darren Young at one point in time. So who knows what we might see here coming from him in the next few weeks. So. Changing it up a little here, we've been talking for just a little under an hour or so about wrestling and the career of the Tollman Kevin Kross. Scott, you were kind of out of it today. Is everything all good with you?
I'm just kind of, you work in a school, you understand, we got the week and a half off right now.
Yeah.
And just a lot of things have been going right and wrong at the same time, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
It's nice to have some time off, but after a while, if you don't do anything, you kind of feel it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And my body's just, not all there at the moment, and for some reason today, I was just so zonked.
No, I feel you, man. I've been in the past few days here. My body clock is off. I'm not going to sleep at a decent hour. I'm falling asleep at 2 or 3 in the morning and sleeping until noon. So it's gonna be a stress here trying to get back to a normal routine. So I don't know if it's the same way for you as well.
It definitely, this week has been really just back and forth with me for a while. Some nights, a couple of days ago, I went to bed at noon.
Oh, jeez.
I slept from noon to 8, and then I was up all day. All night, I mean.
Well, it sounds like the perfect time for a movie marathon.
You'd think so, but when you sleep like that, your brain's not all there. Even though you get like 8 hours of sleep, you're just not all... you're just not available for everything. You can't focus right. It's just weird because it's like... It's 7 in the morning, you should be asleep at that point, or at least waking up at that point. Not being like, oh, I've been awake for like 19 hours now. What do I do next?
Yeah, no, I get you, man. That's pretty crazy. But at least your body clock right now is ready and raring to go for New Year's Eve. Any plans?
I'm gonna see The Hateful Eight with my aunt tomorrow.
Ooh, nice. Now
let's hope that I don't fall asleep at any part during the 3-hour-long movie it is.
Oh gosh, and this is a Quentin Tarantino film, right?
It is a Tarantino film.
Okay. So, yeah, because I've seen the previews for it, but I totally don't remember seeing Tarantino's name, but I could have swore you said something about that being one of his films.
Yes, it is a Tarantino film. And all the Tarantino films I've seen, I've enjoyed. Even Death Proof, you lazy bastard.
Yeah, I saw...
most people who watch Tarantino films think that's his worst film.
Yeah.
And a lot of their response is, it's just too much too much talking.
Not enough.
Like, there's not enough stuff apparently happening around the talking for them, because it's probably like, in the hour-and-a-half long version, the, not the Grindhouse version, but the extended unrated cut that you can find on DVD, it's a lot of talking, yes. It's a lot of mindless talking. But you know what mindless talking a lot of people do? Us.
Yeah.
We do that stuff on a regular basis.
Yep.
It's just the way it is. And yes, maybe there's a total of 30 minutes of action in the whole film. It's really good action. It's a tribute to old school Grindhouse films. You ever watch some of those films? Like those 70s style films where it's really like no action whatsoever for 90% of the movie, and then 10% is just stuff happening and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple of films like that, but that's more your genre instead of mine.
Almost every genre is my genre, let's be honest.
That's true. He's a complete savant when it comes to movies over there. So.
Maybe an idiot savant.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, man. Shoot. Yeah, because I've only seen... You know what? I've probably seen more Tarantino films than I realize, but like right now, the only ones that come to my mind.
8.
Okay, then I've probably seen. I'm trying to think. I know I've seen
let's see if I can do this.
I've seen the Kill Bills.
Let's see if I do this in order. Reservoir Dogs.
Fell asleep watching it. I kid you not.
How?
I don't know. Must have been really tired that day, and I just never went back to watch it.
That's your excuse.
I don't know. I never went back to watch it. I don't know.
Oh my god.
I gotta go back and watch that one.
Did you get to the part where Michael Madsen cut off the cop's ear?
I know of that part because of a trivia question. I know that happens, but I don't know. Honestly, I can't remember anything from that movie. I really can't. I'm sorry. I'm so bad.
Oh, God. Watch it again, please.
Okay. All right.
Please.
Okay.
Right then, Pulp Fiction.
I'm going to disappoint you because I still haven't seen that one either. You're going to reach through the computer and try to strangle me now.
If you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, I doubt you've seen Jackie Brown then.
That I have not seen that one, but I know, that's the sequel to it, essentially, or...
No, it's not.
It's a spin-off.
Similar to it.
Because that's the one with, what's her name is the main character.
Pamela,
yeah, what's her name?
Pam Grier.
Pam Grier, thank you. I wanted to say Geller, but I'm like, that's not right. Yeah. Yeah, I know you want to kill me.
This hurts.
I know. I know. It's just like what Kevin was talking about with Zod, I guess.
Seriously.
Sorry.
Wow. I gotta leave the room.
What else
You're not even in the same state. You're not even the same coast as me.
What other movies did he do? Because I know I've seen a few of them.
Kill Bills.
Okay, I've seen those.
Mazel tov.
Yay.
I saw Glorious Bastards.
I saw that one. I like that one.
Okay, actually, I haven't seen it, even though I own it. I just haven't. I can't find a DVD for it.
Oh,
it's in my pile somewhere.
I was gonna say it's on the Avalanche pile.
It really is. It got mixed in, and I still haven't watched it. And I'm disappointed in myself for not watching it.
Yeah, that one actually is pretty good. I like that one.
I know it's going to be good. I know I'm going to love the shit out of it. I just gotta find it. Fine then. Death Proof.
I've seen Death Proof. I saw that. I actually saw that in the theater.
You saw it as part of Grindhouse?
Yeah.
How'd you enjoy that?
I liked Planet Terror better.
Almost everyone seems to.
Yeah, it was just, for me, it just was one of those things where, yeah, like you were saying, it was just very slow moving. It's
even slower moving if you watch the
director's cut.
Cut.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you gotta love the women were hot as hell in that one, but still, it didn't really save it for me. So.
Okay, and Django Unchained.
That's on my Netflix list. I haven't watched it yet, but that's on my Netflix list. So I've watched half, not a little less than half of his movies. I know. I'm sorry. I'm one of those guys where, like, I watch certain movies and people look at me like, okay, why would you watch that one, but you haven't seen this one? I don't know. Because I can make you shake your head in shame and want to hang up if you really wanted to.
Oh, please, let's try.
I have never seen a Godfather or Goodfellas at all, ever. Don't really care for those movies.
Casino?
No, never.
Okay.
I mean, I've never even seen I know it's not in the same vein, but I've never seen, like, any of the Ocean's movies. Certain movies, it just doesn't appeal to me.
Most of those films you just mentioned, I own.
I know, I don't doubt it. But then I'm one of those people who, like, actually owns, like, Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and yeah.
I own those too.
Yeah, I like some of those movies that people just cringe when you mention their name.
Well, they are pretty shitty.
They are, but it's still, I mean, even to me, like, even the Super Mario Brothers movie, with how bad it is, it's still a cult classic to me.
Are you kidding me? I saw that in theaters.
Oh, dude, that's so awesome.
Last year.
Oh, dude! Really?
There's a midnight movie of it. Either last year or 2 years ago. It was the 20th anniversary. They showed it on 35mm.
That's so cool.
I saw it, nope, it was 2013. You know how I know it's 2013? I actually went to see the remake of Maniac with Elijah Wood. At the IFC Theater here in Manhattan. And then we hustled after it was over to the Sunshine Cinema off of 2nd Avenue. And we went to watch the movie there. And I pissed off my friend because a year before I predicted that he's going to say Maniac would be the best remake ever. Even though he had no interest in the movie at first a year ago. A year previous to it. And I jokingly said, best movie, it's going to be best remake ever. I showed it to me and she went, shit! Oh, sorry to everyone in the theater. Granted, there's only like 20 of us in the theater that holds like 150, but...
That's pretty good, though. Shoot, man.
There wasn't many people there to see the Super Mario Brothers movie, unfortunately.
Yeah. Now, okay, since the boobs is not here, and we're not going to offend his childhood, have you seen Star Wars yet?
I've seen it twice.
Okay, so have I. Okay, cool. I finally get to talk with somebody who actually cares about Star Wars.
I told him no matter what we were talking about.
Yeah. So I'm glad that I brought that up. Okay, because honestly, you can basically say, in my opinion, the first three, the 1, 2, 3, episode 1, 2, and 3, don't exist if you wanted to right now. Because this new movie...
I try to say that anyway. But then again, I say that about the Man-Thing movie, even though it's sitting on my shelf right now.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those things where this new film, The Force Awakens, feels like the original trilogy.
It felt like a Star Wars film.
Yeah, it felt
it's
like
the first
it fit
film
right
in 30 years that legitimately felt like a Star Wars film.
Yeah. And Abrams did a good job, so he will not be called Jar Jar Abrams from here on out.
It was a great balance of practical effects.
Balance, I get it. Haha.
No, I wasn't trying to make a pun.
I know.
Serious.
But I'm being funny. There, go ahead.
It was a great balance, you fuck, of gritty practical effects, set pieces, not green screen everything, and just the right amount of CGI that you need.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I saw a behind the scenes thing. I think it was a 60 minutes piece, and they showed some of the stuff, and they built full out cities. It wasn't like everything from episode 1, 2, 3 where it was like in a big giant warehouse with green screens. They did green screen stuff, but they did.
You have to do some green screen stuff. I mean, you know, when you're standing on a giant wintry planet looking into a giant metal structure, you're not going to be able to make that giant metal structure that's a million miles away.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I was the same way as you. It felt like it was the perfect mix. They went back and did some of the traditional stuff. They blended it very well with the minimalistic CGI that they did for some of the backgrounds or like the scenes where they're riding the speeder through the desert. So stuff like that, I'm cool with that. But I didn't like the whole idea from episode 1 where when they pan out and you see the entire city of Naboo, everything's CGI. Here it's like, you can tell that they made some...
They built a city in the desert.
Yeah, they actually built a good full city, which is great. So yeah, Jakku looked really good, man. I like the way that they did that.
It just kind of like, I'm on Tatooine with only one sun instead of 2.
Yeah, exactly. I love the fact that they tied things together like that as well. And again, it's already been out for more than 2 weeks, people. So if you are pissed off at us for talking about it, shut the fuck up.
Han Solo's dead.
So, yes.
Just get it out there.
Yes.
Han Solo's dead.
So, and which is awesome because...
And I nearly cried.
Yeah, I know. My
Because he died, with that look on his face is like, I still love you, you fuck.
Yeah, exactly. My mouth was agape just watching this going, oh my god, that really just happened.
The first time my mouth just dropped. The second time I knew it was coming, I was just like...
Yeah.
It's your fault I'm watching this again, Tomas.
Yeah, it was. I mean, honestly, I'm watching it, and you know what the fun part was? In that whole sentence, the whole back and forth between Kylo Ren, who is Ben Solo, yeah, and Han Solo, so his dad. That whole sequence, you see them talking about how Han wants to try to help him to come back home, and Ben says, I can't fight it. I've been trying to fight it. I need your help. And I'm looking at that, and somebody brought up a conspiracy, because afterwards now, it's like, okay, after I know what goes on, I like watching these conspiracy theories to see, okay, where could they possibly go with this? And one of the conspiracy theories that came up, I can't remember which website or which YouTube channel I was watching, but they were talking about, as a way for... Commander Snoke, whatever his name is, the guy who's his mentor.
Yeah, Andy Serkis doing Andy Serkis.
So the only way, almost like for him to be officially recognized in the now evil, I mean, you can't even call it Sith because they're not Sith necessarily anymore, but with the New Order. Or, yeah, that's what they're called, the New Order. First Order, not the New Order. We're not the New World Order here. But the First Order, it was kind of to a point where it kind of, watching that, the conspiracy theory video, they were like saying, it's like, he almost had to, like, prove his worth in that sequence. Like, he's fighting the light side from creeping in, and... You see clips throughout the movie, like he's staring at the broken up Vader helmet, like he is struggling with which way do I go. And one of the conspiracy theories they actually came up with is that he's actually gonna wind up destroying the dark side from within. And looking at that, it was almost like to a point where having to kill his own father was like a way of proving himself, even though he really didn't want to do it. And I like that theory because now Snoke is going to look at him and go, okay, you had that opportunity to leave and you fought it off. You killed your father. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool, personally. And I think that's pretty logical too, that down the line we're gonna see Ben wind up pulling a Darth Vader and bringing out the light side right at the right time to help destroy the First Order. I don't know. Never know. Another theory. Here's the fun part. Rey, the character of Rey. We saw in the film the lightsaber speak out to her, and the fun part is, we know I know that the extended universe isn't supposed to be canon, which.
Although they did take some elements from it.
They definitely have, because at one point in time, the whole story with Ben Solo, originally there was a Solo kid that did turn to the dark side, but his name was not Ben, his name was Anakin.
Yes.
And
apropos.
And the funny part was Luke Skywalker had a son named Ben Skywalker. But here we have a young female who is basically for only knowing of the Force for, a day, yeah, not much, she's pretty damn powerful. So for her to be able to Jedi mind trick the helmeted 007, for those of you guys who know about the secret cameo.
Wait, that was Daniel Craig?
To my knowledge, that was Daniel Craig who got Jedi mind tricked in the facility. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But again, Simon Pegg was that little midget thing on a Rhino.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Trying to steal BB-8.
Yeah. That's Tito. He was Tito.
So that was interesting right there.
But yeah, and then so Rey now, having as much as in the Force as she is, we could speculate, because that's what we're gonna do. In the extended universe, Luke Skywalker eventually had a relationship with at one point in time a woman was sent to kill him, Mara Jade.
Yes.
And then
they be a concubine to Emperor Palpatine.
Mm-hmm. And she
read a lot of Star Wars novels.
Yeah, and she eventually had to side with Luke on something. They both had the process of going after Palpatine.
See, actually, it's beyond that. Palpatine was already long dead.
Okay, there's something else.
She was still hunting him down for Palpatine, like 8 years later.
Okay, that clarification. Good.
I think they were working together to take down a massive Star Destroyer type ship of some sort.
Cool.
And they kind of grew from there.
Right on. And then, so then they have a little love interest, and they do have a child. They have Ben Skywalker. But here's the thing. We're in this generation of swapping genders on characters all the time. We're seeing things that they're talking about changing Thor into a female and things like that. So it's not outside the realm of possibility that they could say, okay, well, maybe they had a daughter. Well, the daughter got dropped off at a planet reminiscent to Tatooine, where Luke grew up. And then all of a sudden she's with hearing things from the Force once she goes and finally sees his lightsaber for the first time. I'm
still trying to figure out the plot hole of where the fuck they find that lightsaber. Did they dig it out of like some hole in Bespin Cloud City?
I don't know. I'm not sure. And that's the same.
Yeah, that lightsaber kind of went kapoof when his hand went kapoof.
Yeah, and then also, how the hell does Kylo Ren get a Vader helmet?
I think that's more of a tribute.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wondered.
Because it's not a Vader helmet. It's obviously just a helmet. I think it's probably... You ever see the comic, the New Warriors?
No, I have not.
Alright, there's a comic character called called Speedball in it. And at one point, the New Warriors were fighting some characters. This led to the original Civil War in comics. You know, speaking of Civil War, I saw a promo for the trailer for Captain America on the theater, so that made it even better.
Nice.
That was part of yesterday's trailer, so that was nice. But, leading up to the original Civil War in comics, 600 people died in Stamford, Connecticut, or somewhere in Connecticut, because a character named Nitro went, that's his special power,
Nice.
and killed most of the New Warriors and 600 people.
Nice.
Speedball felt it was his fault because he was one of the New Warriors that was part of it, and became a character called Penance, where he had little spikes inside his suit to activate this new ability that he had. Because his original ability was kinetic energy, but that might be what he's using the helmet for.
Okay.
To help develop his pain, because did you see how heavy that helmet was?
Yeah.
Twice he put that thing down and it made like a gunshot sound.
Yeah, it was a nice big thud.
Also, what I like about Kylo Ren is that his rage is out of control.
Yeah, and that's another thing too I've been seeing is a lot of people making fun of him for being very emo and doing things like that. Somebody set up a Twitter account for him and started posting things like he was like a raging emo kid. It was hilarious.
But I think that explains his lightsaber.
Yeah, it's
People complaining about their exhaust vents on the side of his lightsaber, and someone's like, well, it's there to look cool. It's like, no, there's a reason for it. If you actually look at his lightsaber is not a solid piece of light, like Luke's was, or Vader's was, or, you know,
it hisses and pops.
Even Darth Sidious. You know, before we knew him as Palpatine.
Yeah, it hisses, it pops, it looks like it's flickering.
It's flaring.
Yeah.
And I think that matches his internal rage.
And
come on, look! He finds out about that information, tears up a whole wall of video boards and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, finds out Rey disappeared, he cuts the chair up, and Stormtroopers are like, fuck this, and walk away.
Yeah, that was great. That's the one thing I liked about the movie is the comic stuff wasn't really overtly comedic either.
It was still a lot of Han Solo-centric comedy, which was the original film had.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the little Han sees Leia for the first time and into the frame peers C-3PO, and I go, oh jeez.
And they just look at him like, and C-3PO looks at Leia and like,
yeah.
walk away now.
Yeah, that was great.
Chewie was like the only one that's like, hey Leia, how you doing?
Yeah.
Just hugs her and looks at Han like, you schmuck.
Yeah, exactly. But man, I just watching that movie was just phenomenal to me because it did. It felt like it really continued the story that we'd missed for so long, and it felt like it was done in the same vein with the same amount of care and love that Lucas did.
Before Lucas lost his shit.
Yeah, so I just again.
See, there's so much we can talk about how good this film was. The fact that there was such character development. Okay? And the idea that stormtroopers are pretty much kidnapped from birth.
Well, some.
I'm sure a good amount.
Well, no, they did mention there's at one point in time, Kylo Ren is talking with the other.
Hux.
What? Yeah.
Hux.
Okay, he's talking with him, and they actually are. They're in a conversation with Snoke, and he says something about Ren's people couldn't find the chip or whatever, or I can send a group of clones down to go collect the droid.
See, that's what I thought he was at first.
Yeah.
The idea that, that's the only name I've ever known. It's like, maybe they're clones.
Yeah, and
they're just not cloning a black guy.
Yeah, well, but again, it's one of those things where once we finally hear, hey, you were taken from your home and raised to be this way. So, I mean, it is a take that has, has happened. I mean, you look overseas right now with what's going on and certain things in the real world here, ISIS and all the people overseas that are trying to kill us. They do. They grab kids, or Boko Haram in Africa. They go into the villages, they ravage the village and take the kids to become part of their army. So, I mean, he's taking things from real life and putting it into the Star Wars film. So it does have a sense of realism to it, which is kind of scary. But yeah, when you just the whole idea of the clones are still there, and that was the main controversy right at the very beginning, was people were complaining and saying, wait, I thought the stormtroopers were clones, and people tried to make it a thing about, oh, you just don't want a black guy as a stormtrooper, which is kind of sad. Because
I know, people getting all racist over it, and he was actually a fantastic character.
He was.
Because he felt so lost at many times. Yeah, and you can tell he was overcompensating for things.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they explained...
Because he's never been liberated.
Yeah, and
he's always been one of many.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they explained the situation, because that explains why... I mean, again, we knew the stormtroopers, the clone troopers, eventually become stormtroopers... were clones. We're clones of Jango Fett. So we knew if they were going to continue on that story, because we never saw a stormtrooper without its helmet off. I almost said head off.
We just heard them talk.
Yeah, we just heard them talk. So we can only still assume that they were still Jango Fett, the clones of Jango Fett at that time. Mm-hmm. Because it didn't really seem like anybody wanted to run to join the Empire. They were still fighting with the Rebel Alliance and being part of the original... Galactic Republic. So,
but then you got Captain Phasma, which completely breaks that up.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that character, because
and you know she escaped.
Yeah, exactly.
She had to escape. They can easily just say, the one who saved my ass was Captain Phasma.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean we shall see, but yeah, I'm glad that the Finn character went from moment one on screen, when he's out there in the stormtrooper helmet and that guy dies right in front of him, and you get that...
He just got shell-shocked instantly.
The bloody handprint, I mean, that was just perfect for me to see that. I like that. Yeah, you can instantly tell, like, something clicked in his head, and it was like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
I'm not meant for this, I'm not meant for this, I'm not meant for this. Put me back in the garbage bay, please. I'm not meant for this.
Yeah. And
I'll scrub toilets, don't put me out there.
And did you're mentioning the toilet thing. You did catch the little homage to Kevin Smith there, right?
No, I did not.
Okay, so... Kevin Smith in Clerks, they have the conversation between Dante and Randall about, which movie did you like the best, Empire or Jedi? And they talk about the whole idea of the second Death Star and a job of that magnitude having to bring in independent contractors, and so when it was blown up, that actual people that weren't part of the Empire actually died.
And then the actual contractor in the
exactly is in the
store was talking about, hey, look, man, they took the job.
Yeah, they know the risk. Well, one comment in that sequence in Clerks was answered in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. There's a comment from Randall saying, "Do you think the average stormtrooper knows how to install a toilet main?" What was Finn's job?
So essentially glorified.
He was in sanitation. So I'm sure he probably could install a toilet main. Apparently they don't know all.
I never put two and two together like that.
Yeah, so apparently they don't just know killing in white uniforms. They might know something else now.
Plastoid armor.
Yeah.
Plastoid armor. Remember,
okay.
That's what it's called.
Plastoid armor. I just like killing in white uniforms. So
for some reason, isn't very armor.
Yeah. Oh.
I think it's more plastoid than armor.
And you know what? I saw something funny that made me think that this is going to make you laugh. If a stormtrooper from Star Wars and a red shirt from Star Trek get into a fight, does the red shirt still die even though the stormtrooper doesn't hit him?
It's going to ricochet off something. Let's be honest, the stormtrooper can shoot at himself, he's going to hit the red shirt.
Dude, and that's another one I saw. I saw it's a cartoon somebody drew of a stormtrooper trying to blow his own brains out and he misses. Oh man, but yeah, dude, I was pleasantly surprised. The way it ended, we're now finally gonna get to see more of Luke Skywalker. The second film is gonna be about that relationship that's cultivated between he and Rey. I mean, we're gonna.
Everyone's full out of Han dying.
Yeah, that was at the very end. That was tragic, man. That Leia and Rey just looking at each other, going, "Oh crap!" And Chewie. I mean, Chewie was still not. I mean, not even acknowledging Leia on the way in.
Oh, he was trying to save Finn, because Finn did save his life.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
have a feeling we found our new little combo there, because you know what it is?
Yeah.
At least story-wise, a Wookiee will offer a life debt to anyone who saves their life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay? That's what he gave to Han. Problem is, he wasn't able to give his life for Han.
Yeah, exactly.
You can tell, when Han died, Chewie lost his shit.
Yeah, exactly.
He could have blown the fuck up with the facility. He didn't care at that point.
Yeah. And you know what?
Like, everyone had to die right there.
You know, one of the fun moments of that movie. Again, you mentioned the Han Solo comedy stuff. When he first uses the crossbow blaster. Oh, see, you already know where I'm. Just Han's reaction of like, "Damn, I like this. I should have gotten me one of these a long time ago."
Like, seriously. But I also like the fact that the crossbow finally has some backing to it.
Yeah.
And wasn't just a glorified, cool-looking blaster.
Yeah.
It finally made sense that a guy like Chewbacca has a weapon that pretty much is a bazooka.
Yeah, and it's one of those weapons that you don't think that a person like Leia would be using, because it would be too high of a caliber weapon now.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you can see the difference, yeah, maybe, I mean, Han can handle it, but could he handle it for an entire battle? I don't know.
Nah, man, maybe get like a few shots out of it, like, okay, my shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a huge caliber weapon, so a Wookiee, obviously, is a bigger creature. He can handle.
Stronger.
Yeah, he can handle it, no issues.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, man, I was floored with this movie. It was such a good film.
There was not a point in the film where I really just went, I did not like that. I did not like that. I'm still questioning the whole loophole about the lightsaber, and I really hope the second movie, fills us in on how they got that thing. And I won't lie, if somehow Billy D. Williams shows up in the next film, I won't be upset.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. He did lose the one lightsaber in Cloud City, but he did have a second lightsaber then in the fight against Vader, and when Vader throws Palpatine into the thing.
Yeah, but if you notice, Maz, whatever her name is, the one who looks like a tangerine.
She mentioned that it was his father's before him.
Exactly, and the blade was blue.
Yeah.
Alright? The blade that Luke built on his own,
green. Because
one of the things to be a Jedi is to build your own lightsaber and find the crystals that speak to you.
Mm-hmm.
I know way too much sometimes.
Yeah. His was green.
I read a lot of books.
His lightsaber.
In order to really make your own lightsaber, you have to find crystals that speak to you. That's why colors are personalized like that. Although for some reason, every Sith has a red lightsaber. Whatever. Luke's, when he made his own, was green.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's a little bit odd. So that's something they still have to explain. That's for sure.
Exactly. I bet you Luke has his lightsaber on that mountain waiting for the Highlander to come chop his head off. There could only be one.
Yeah, he's at the grounds of the original Jedi Temple, which is kind of cool, so.
Which is another idea taken from the original stories.
Yeah.
That now the alternate universe, I don't know if Lucas can see me flipping him off right now, or Disney.
Yeah.
But I am. It used to be the expanded universe. Now Grand Admiral Thrawn doesn't exist. You fucks. I liked him.
Now,
but anyway.
There's one theory that's out there, that I've heard in the past couple of days, and I had to do some digging on it because I wasn't really sure. I wasn't really sure about his history and whatnot. And there's with the Commander Snoke, or Supreme Leader Snoke, or whatever the hell you want to call him.
Supreme Leader Snoke.
It's one of those things where I keep hearing murmurs, because there was I think that Palpatine at one point in time in episode 2 or episode 3 talks to Anakin and mentions the whole idea of you can even prevent people from dying. And he's like, there's a Jedi who has such a power, and he says you can't learn that from a Jedi. And I was doing some research, and I think the person he is referring to is the person that he took over for. I think he killed was Darth Plagueis. Do you know?
I believe that. I don't know if that's still part of the extended universe, though.
Yeah. Well, see, now that's the fun part is because Darth Plagueis, he's supposed to be like the most powerful and smartest Sith master ever. And if he could prevent somebody from dying, the theory is that Supreme Leader Snoke is just a reincarnation of Darth Plagueis, which would be kind of cool if that's the case. Yeah. So, because again, reading here off of Wikipedia, gotta say that. There was, according to Sidious, Plagueis was powerful enough that he could use the Force to influence midichlorians to create life and keep those he cared about from dying. Precious knowledge that awarded him the epithet of the Wise. So, I don't know, man. I thought about that and went, man, could Snoke be Plagueis risen from the dead? That's why he looks kind of funky. We've not actually seen him in person yet. He's only been on that hologram. He's like, again, I don't know if the hologram is just big for the sake of being a big hologram.
I hope that's what that is.
I don't know if he's going to be a larger size creature. I don't know, but I saw that and was like, interesting. Because Snoke has been around in the Clone Wars stuff way back when, the cartoon. But I don't know, man. I'm not sure where they're gonna go. But I'm kind of hoping. In the next movie, we're gonna see a lot more of him because Kylo Ren and the other general, Hux, you said was his name?
Yeah, Hux.
So we're going to see them interact with him on a regular basis because Kylo Ren's supposed to finish his training with Snoke.
That's the scary part. He's that fucking strong, and he's in complete training.
Yeah.
The idea where he can stop a goddamn laser bolt, not like Vader did and just block it with his hands. No, he stops it in mid-travel. And just leaves it there.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I saw that when that first happened, and I saw it again the second time. I'm still shocked by that.
Yeah, even to a point where beforehand, we saw Force pushes. And we saw him, we could see him do...
Vader use, items and...
the Force choke or something like that. Not hold somebody or something perfectly still so they can't move.
Without having to concentrate too hard on it.
Yeah, he had a full conversation with Rey in the forest, and then basically waved his hand and knocked her out.
Or how about with Poe?
Yeah.
After he first found him.
Yeah, dude.
The laser was just sitting there.
Yeah, and then he walks away and stops thinking about it, and just boom.
Yeah, it scares the crap out of Finn.
Yeah. So
I think, a fart in his direction would have scared him at that point.
Yeah, that is true. But man, yeah, I honestly, I have a feeling I'm going to wind up going and seeing it again in a theater just for the sake of seeing it again.
God, it's so good. I saw it once in 2D and once in 3D.
Yeah, I can't watch 3D. It makes me queasy. So
you see, I don't do 3D too often. I've only done it like a handful of times. I think I've seen 5 films in 3D.
Yeah.
This one was a little rough because things were moving so fast I couldn't keep up, so the 3D was blurry.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, I could see there's 2 images where there should have been 1. So 3D doesn't always work for me. I guess it depends. Like, for a movie like Dread 3D, that was a must.
Yeah, I've only seen one really in the past year or so. And that was they did the Doctor Who special in the theaters and did it in 3D, and that was the only way I could watch it in the theater was in 3D, and a bunch of my friends wanted to go, so I went. You
should have seen Ant-Man in 3D. Some of those scenes are just so insane in 3 dimensions.
That would have been fun. But man, yeah, no,
you haven't seen Ant-Man yet, have you?
No, I saw Ant-Man finally. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
What did you think of that?
I liked it. I really liked it. That was right at the tail end of my my Schwartz in November, because that's when it came out, right at the end of November. So.
I guess, I don't know. I own it on Blu-ray already, though.
So, but yeah, no, man, it was really, I liked that one. But
it's everything I wanted from a Star Wars film.
Yeah, Star Wars, it definitely, like I said, and in the same vein, everybody can go back and look and say, especially if you're anti-Star Wars or if you're pro like Star Trek or something, you can go back and you can watch this and say, oh, it's basically the same plot. They go through and they have to destroy some sort of a brand new Death Star. Yeah, it's basically the same story.
Okay, so it's the same thing as A New Hope and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. They put a new wrinkle on it too, because it's not just a space station. They engulfed a goddamn planet.
See, honestly, the whole sun thing, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, wait, they put a giant weapon in a planet? Are they using the planet's core?
No, yeah, that's what I was thinking they were doing.
Power the weapon?
Yeah, no, they freaking kill a sun. That's why, yeah, the Star Killer base. That's why they called it the Star Killer, was because of the fact that they literally have to kill a star to take its energy to fire the weapon. And it's not just one laser beam. This thing killed 5 planets at once.
It's just wrong.
Yeah.
So wrong.
And then on top of it, yeah, we did get a similar ending to a point with it blowing up and thing like that.
It felt like I was playing Star Fox with that.
It did.
Blew it up on the inside.
It did, but even to a point where, like, the whole idea of them, they got smart. They finally got smart. They covered up whatever port access hole from the first 2 movies that they were able to fly in and freaking
put some cellophane over it.
Yeah, well, because they had that big old thing on to cover up the whatever it was. It was big old like shield base thing on top of whatever it was that they needed to get to. They couldn't get in, and it had to be blown up from the inside first and foremost by Han and Chewbacca putting those charges.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't one of those things where, like the other movie, all they did was freaking just blow it up and that was it. I mean, they actually had to do more even this time around. So you can't say that people don't learn from history, because they proved that they have learned this time around. The first time, the porthole was on the outside of the building and just in a little trench. The next time, it's literally inside the core. This time, they actually covered the stupid core.
Yep.
So, at least they're learning when they're making these things.
And they didn't make it something that would at least instantly blow up the planet.
Yeah.
You know? I'm sure if they weren't trying to store any of that energy, the planet would not have blown up.
Mm-hmm.
They just happened to be in the middle of charging their laser.
Yeah. Laser. But, yeah.
You know, and it just so happens like, oh, well, we don't like hanging out here anymore.
Yeah, and the whole planet just kind of
blowed up the planet,
crumbled. So, yeah, I thought that was such a cool way of doing it, because yeah, it's still a take on the original story, but again, you got from point A to point B in such a different manner this time. Especially, Finn and Poe Dameron, is that what his name was? Dameron. Okay, I can't remember his name. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where having that escape first and foremost was pretty cool. Poe Dameron, there you go. Okay, yeah. I don't know why I thought he said Dameridge or something like that. Dameron. But yeah, to have that valiant escape, because Finn just kind of wanted out. He was like, "Oh my god, done."
I just like that. I'm here to rescue you. Why? It's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I need a pilot.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, even to a point where, here's the fun part. Like, again, I love looking up things on like the different wiki type stuff. So on Wikipedia, the Star Wars wiki, Poe Dameron was born just before the Battle of Endor, so he was still a child at that point in time. Doesn't really know much other than that. I mean, that time the battle happened, and then okay, cool. So by the time he's cognizant of the world around him, he just knows, hey, we have the upper hand now, and we're not running for our lives. We're not necessarily a rebellion anymore. We've kind of put the kibosh on certain things, but now we're on. I mean, now he's becoming a major player in the star pilot game, I guess, to say the least. So, but man, yeah, it's just so funny to see. Oh man, I'm really excited. I mean, and we're supposed to be getting another Star Wars film coming up in December of 2016, but it's not going to be the main one. It's going to be the what is it? The New Republic, or what is it called?
Rogue One.
Rogue One. Thank you. So we're going to see that one in December. The following May of 2017, we're going to get Episode 8, which we still don't have an official name for yet. And then the following Christmas, if I'm not mistaken...
You know what I like about this movie? This was not Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Yeah, it was just The Force Awakens.
Yes.
So, we know it's the 7th episode, essentially, but if they wanted to mess with it, they probably could. So, they could just say, oh, well, this isn't actually Episode 7, this is just a build into... whatever, something else, but...
actually, I think this is a prequel of sorts.
So, I don't know. But, December of 2017, we're supposed to be getting a Han Solo, a young Han Solo film, which is going to be cool to kind of see where he came from, and how he wound up meeting...
I'm sorry, it's going to be hard to really...
see somebody else's...
Han.
Yeah, I know. Oh, screw you, Google. If you haven't seen the film, don't type in Han Solo in Google, because the first thing is Han Solo dead. That's great.
Spoiled that for anyone who's listening to the show.
Fuck you, Google. That's hilarious. I'm sorry. I saw that. That just made me...
Just to let people know, we should do like a Han Solo spoiler edition.
Yeah.
When we name this episode.
Yeah. No, you know what? You know what? Because we did the interview with Kross, let's just call this Kross Wars. I don't know. But here, let's see here. The Untitled Han Solo Anthology is what their anthology film coming out. What is it?
What the shit?
What?
Alright, so I'm on hitfix.com. 354 days until Star Wars, Rogue One. What we know about Rogue One so far.
Oh, jeez.
That's a year away.
Yeah.
Alright, so the movie is filming right now, but the box of mystery is still airtight. Lucasfilm, I love the fact that it's still called Lucasfilm, even though it just might as well be Disney.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I appreciate the fact that they didn't do what they were doing with Marvel and throw the Disney logo on it.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Lucasfilm is, yes, it's owned by Disney, but it's not Disney.
Yeah.
This is a Lucasfilm. I also like the fact that it was PG-13.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, Star Wars The Force Awakens was actually PG-13.
No, times change. They can't get away with as much.
So, I think that allows them to do a little more.
Yeah.
They didn't really have to limit themselves, did they?
No, not at all.
They kind of just went, no, we're going to make Han's death. It's going to be kind of glorious and gory at the same time.
Alright.
Hey, did you see that friggin', that riot gear trooper? God, that thing was awesome, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, with that crazy little, rotating, sword spear crap thing. Yeah, whatever, yeah, baton, yeah. Makes more sense to say that. Yeah. Billy Club. Big Boss Man Billy Club with an electrical freaking thing on the end of it.
So, Big Boss Man and the Mountie had their own little stormtrooper?
Dude! Yes!
If you listen to this show long enough, folks, you realize everything comes back to wrestling.
Exactly. I love it. That was great.
traitor.
Yeah, I was like,
ah, crap.
well, the funniest part is then afterwards, more people are talking about that guy than what's her name? Phasma?
Phasma.
Yeah.
He was really good. That's why.
Yeah.
He looked cool. He had a friggin' awesome design of a weapon, and he was going head to head with a guy with a fucking lightsaber.
Yeah.
So it tells you that someone took some sort of technology. Makes you wonder who's designing these weapons.
Yeah.
Okay, because a lightsaber I've seen cuts through every fucking thing else on the planet.
Yeah, but it had, because of whatever, the electrical charge or something, it couldn't.
Exactly. So that was just as interesting.
I'm wondering, like, the only thing that I can think of is maybe, I mean, like an electromagnetism or something, some sort of, like, the charges repel each other.
It'd be interesting if they ever discussed that.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know. But yeah, so far, the film is Lucasfilm released only the very basics. Rogue One will be a heist film. I already like the idea of that.
Wait, a heist?
About stealing the Death Star plans. So this takes place before New Hope.
Okay, so it's right after. Okay, so it's right after. Then they wind up. Anakin gets put in the suit for the first time, and we just saw the what was it? The Geonosis, the clicking, talking guys with the plans.
Yeah, this is going to probably take about 10 years later, though.
Okay.
Obviously, if this is a heist film, this is going to take place immediately before A New Hope.
I don't know why.
I can only suggest.
I don't know why, but all of a sudden I wound up clicking around and I found a picture, and my brain went, "Oh my god, please, 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 please." Just it looked like Firefly.
That's not a bad thing.
I'm looking at it. It looks like the one shot that I saw. It's like it's got the technology stuff, but then you got like the one guy who looks like he could be a samurai kind of looking. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've watched a few episodes of Firefly. I wasn't super into it, but I just from what I remember, it was like there's certain places that look really.
Well, there is a connection because one of the stars of the film just happens to be Wash from Firefly.
Yeah, haha.
Alan Tudyk is going to be in it.
And this one,
that's not a bad thing.
And is this one? This one is going to be. It's not directed by Abrams though.
No, it's directed by Gareth Edwards, actually.
Okay.
Gary Whitta and Chris Weitz are the screenwriters. And the ensemble cast stars Felicity Jones, Mads Mikkelsen, Alan Tudyk, Ben Mendel's son, Donnie Yen, there's your samurai.
Okay.
Forrest Whitaker, Diego Luna, Riz Ahmed, and Jonathan Aris.
Forrest Whitaker's gonna be in it?
Yeah, I think this is one of his lifelong dreams, too.
Really? Huh.
The late Peter Cushing will be digitally added to Rogue One, reprising his role post-mortem as Grand Moff Tarkin. Pretty much what they did in Episode 3.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I went, what?
Really? Huh.
Other than that, there's nothing.
Dang. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, because what I'm seeing here, again, I see that picture.
There's new, okay, that's interesting.
Huh.
Apparently some of the information, and that's it. No character names, no synopsis, nada. But that doesn't mean we can't piece together a rough idea of what to expect after all information below comes from new canon sources, be it the films, the Clone Wars cartoon, which I never actually watched.
It's actually pretty good. I like it.
I hated the Clone Wars cartoon movie.
Oh, it's so much better. Like on a weekly basis, there's something when the show happens. Every episode, it's one battle and a story that leads to something else. I saw the Clone Wars film, and it was just it basically, for the most part, is one giant long episode of the cartoon. But the cartoon, I think, works a little better because you see Anakin going on one mission, you see Yoda going on another mission, you see Mace Windu. Mace Windu would have been dead around that time. Sorry, I want to say that he was in part of them too at one point in time because some of them might have taken place.
Mace Windu died in the third film. This takes place between the second.
Okay,
and third.
then he was in there. I'm all of a sudden my brain's getting confused as to when that was. But yeah, you see different places and different characters, and you also, one thing that we still don't know about, because I don't know, they had never really mentioned it even in the third film. What in the hell happened with Anakin's Padawan, Ahsoka? I mean,
did they mention it in Clone Wars?
She's a major character.
I know. Did they mention it at the end, though?
I don't remember. I haven't seen all the episodes. I've seen some here and there, and so I haven't watched them in order. But from what I've watched, it's a pretty good show. But I would like to see what happened to her, even if it hasn't happened yet already. Aaron, I'll look while we're talking.
I know some people talking about maybe her being in the future films.
Yeah, let's see here. Ahsoka Tano.
So, yeah, apparently there were some new in-continuity novels that came out as well that I'm going to have to maybe figure out and buy. One being Tarkin.
Okay.
And another one called Aftermath. So Rogue One will most likely, be revisiting Geonosis, which is expected since that's where the plans were. Find out the cost of building the Death Star. Fuck it, man. I'm looking forward to this. I hope it's going to be good. I hope it's going to have the same vibe of the movie we just saw.
Okay.
Because if you're going to give me a Star Wars film, be it a tie-in film or not, it's got to feel like a Star Wars film.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm looking through things here, and on the again the Wikipedia, Ahsoka Tano. She wound up in one episode. She dies and gets revived. So she's technically still alive. It says she died. There was an episode called Altar of Mortis, and then later resurrected. And she's been in even some of the newer the Rebels cartoon as well,
which takes place after the third movie.
So she's still alive, but again, we never got anything of her in the original trilogy. So
we didn't know, but they didn't know about her. She was made to be pretty much,
yeah. So in theory, if there were, that she had to have died before then, sometime, because of the fact that there were only 2 Jedi left in Yoda and Obi-Wan. Then bringing in Luke to do the whole become the.
See, that might not be true. There might be some Jedi that are hidden.
Yeah, so I don't know. I found that.
Remember, Yoda was able to suppress his ability to use the Force.
Yeah.
So he wasn't traceable.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So why can't other Jedis be able to hide the fact that they are Jedis? No one knew where Obi-Wan was. Not that Vader couldn't feel him if he really wanted to.
That's true.
I'm sure Vader was looking.
Yeah, and it said, looking here, it looks like at one point in time, during the time span that she was on Rebels, she actually went by a pseudonym of Fulcrum as well. So, in theory, she probably could have been in hiding there for a while.
She could still be.
So, that would be neat.
That'd be interesting if she still is.
And maybe we'll see her later on down the line. Or, you know what name that popped into my mind the other day when I was thinking about it, and I was confusing that character with Mara Jade at one point in time. Do you remember playing the fighting video game on the PlayStation that Star Wars came out with, the Star Wars Masters of the Terrakasi?
Nope.
Okay, they came out with a fighting game, and there was a character in the game.
Was it called Masters of the Terrakasi?
Yeah. No, the character wasn't called Terrakasi, no. But
oh my god, I'm gonna stop talking to you.
Sorry. I didn't hear what you were saying. But no. There was a character named Arden Lin. I don't know if that name rings a bell in any of your. Nope. So, apparently, I guess Terrakasi is supposed to be a martial art form or something like that. I don't know. And it says, again, Wikipedia refers to a martial art used in the game. Both words have been borrowed from Finnish, and they literally mean steel hand. She has a steel arm in this game. She has like a robot arm. And she was actually, the story, I guess, is she was hired by the Emperor as part of a way to destroy Luke Skywalker.
God damn, the graphics look horrible.
It was PlayStation 1, dude. That was like right when, I mean, the Sega Saturn came out with the Virtual Fighter type game. It's one of those things where I was originally thinking beforehand, because I didn't look it up at first. I'm sitting there thinking, wait, was that Mara Jade? But no, it's not. It was a different woman. And I'm wondering, where did she come? Because there's no backstory on that character at all that I know of that I can find, other than just in this stupid game, which I probably played the shit out of too, in all honesty. So it wasn't that bad.
That's probably the only gay thing she's ever been in.
Yeah, so unfortunately. Man, God, some of those games are amazing. Some of the Star Wars games are really good, and some of them were really, really bad. I gotta say, over the years.
Well, of course.
Is there what's if you had to put one game out there, one of your favorite Star Wars games? What's your favorite?
I actually never really played Star Wars games. I think I got the Return of the Jedi for the Super Nintendo, though.
Okay, Super Return of the... Okay, yeah, those were supposed to be really difficult.
They're supposed to be really good, though.
Yeah. The one that I liked, again, at the time, it was on the computer, and it was one called Dark Forces, and it was like first-person shooter type game. So I thought that was pretty cool. But even to a point of the Jedi power battles, I liked that one. That one was pretty fun because it kind of had that the feel of you could have 4 people on the screen at a time, kind of like the oh my god, why am I blanking on the Gauntlet? There you go. There's the game I wanted to say, where you can have all your characters on the screen at one time, like old school arcade even, working in tandem. And you're just going crazy through the levels and stuff. And you can be Plo Koon. That was the first time you can actually play as Plo Koon in a game, too, which is kind of cool. So.
I don't know who that is.
He looked like an alien dude who had a yellow lightsaber. I'll show you his picture. Hang on. So, again, sorry people listening who can't see what we are...
I know who he is now.
Yeah. Plo Koon.
That is actually a really cool character design.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's pretty sweet. I mean, he was in the prequels, and then he was in the Clone Wars cartoon, but then, yeah, he was in the Power Battles game.
Order 66.
Yeah, Order 66. Yeah.
Where everyone dies.
Yeah. I would never understand that. Again, the idea of the one who will bring balance to the Force, and you don't realize that, hey, there aren't that many bad guys, and yet we are many as Jedi. Wouldn't bringing balance to the Force meaning all the good guys die? I mean,
now, where'd you come up with that logical information?
I don't know. I just thought that was hilarious. I never understood why they didn't catch that. I don't know. So.
They thought by balance that all the bad guys would be wiped out.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know.
That's how balance really goes.
Yeah, exactly.
No! Kill all the bad guys! Not, us good Jedi.
Yeah. Ooh. Hey, if anybody cares, I know this has nothing to do with Star Wars, WWE's doing like a flash sale right now where like a bunch of t-shirts are like $15 only or less. So some of them are pretty cool. Just saying, putting it out there. I don't know.
Anyone out there who listens to the show collects Star Wars figures? I got a shitload of them from the original Power of the Force line from like 95.
Ooh.
Like Shadows of the Empire and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
I really should sell them one day.
Yeah. I'm gonna show you a picture of somebody. I had a teacher of mine in high school, who is actually one of my colleagues now, which is kind of hilarious. He grew up in this area and out in the Berkeley area, and he tells a story, and it's pretty awesome because he tells a story. He at one point in time had fairly long hair, and he again in kind of the whole Berkeley scene out there, everybody knows it's kind of hippie-ish. He was sitting in a Chevy's one day, and it had to have been in the early to mid 90s. So just before episode 1 was being shot. Okay. If I can find this picture, I will show you. He had that look to him where as he's sitting in this Chevy's, George Lucas is actually sitting in the restaurant. And like he knew like George Lucas was sitting on where they sat him, George Lucas was kind of sitting behind him, so he kind of keep looking back at George Lucas. And he kind of had this feeling like George Lucas was staring at him. And he's been telling this story forever. It's hilarious. It's funny because you hear him talk about it, and a few weeks late, well, not weeks, but probably closer to a year or so later, is when the first ideas for Qui-Gon Jinn came out. And I swear to God, dude, it's scary. Looks like my teacher. It's really scary. So I'm going to try to find this picture. If I can find it.
I also just want to mention, I think I got like the rare hologram Obi-Wan Kenobi. I got the figure in Dan with all the band figures. I really want to get rid of these.
Nice. Okay, here. Whoop. So I'm going to give you posting a screenshot of my teacher in the Skype chat, so you can see that one first. That's what he looked like back in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And then that picture, the concept art picture came out. So
yeah, there's similarities.
Yeah, so he's been telling that story for...
Although it kind of looks like George Lucas.
It kind of is, yeah, kind of creepy. But for him to then have Lucas see him in a restaurant, that concept art to come out, and then have it be Liam Neeson, that's kind of says something. Like, dude, you can make that stretch. Like, hey, you kind of look like Liam Neeson. So, and it's always been funny because, like, referring to him... If I say, Mr. Anderson, the first response from some of the people I know because they know this story, oh, you mean Qui-Gon? So, it's pretty funny. So, I thought that was freaking awesome. So, I figured you would appreciate that story too. So, as much as we really didn't care for the original, well, not the original, the prequel trilogy. Yeesh. Yeah.
God, those still hurt.
Yeah, man. So, but yeah, man, I had fun with it. I definitely think that it was a good. The new film was a good film. It was a good way to set up the next movie. I'm looking very much forward to it. There's a lot of different ways that they can go, and I know that J.J. Abrams isn't directing it. So here's hoping it doesn't suck. So that's my biggest hope, is that they don't ruin it.
Well, the guy, he said he loved the script.
Yeah, Abrams did say he wishes he was the one directing it. So
yeah. And Gareth Edwards for the Rogue One, he's been doing pretty well.
Yeah, let's see here.
I mean, he did the movie Monsters, which was a pretty popular small budget horror film, and then Godzilla.
Yeah.
Which I don't know about you, but I thoroughly enjoyed.
So, according to The Independent from the UK, Star Wars 8 is going to be quote-unquote weird, promises the screenwriter. And it's not going to be like any Star Wars we've ever seen, which I'm hoping that's a good thing? I don't know. But, what is it? It says, the guy, Ryan Johnson, is going to be the new director. He actually directed the movie Looper.
Oh, I just bought that. I gotta watch it.
Yeah, that's with the kid Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis, right?
You're gonna say that kid from Third Rock from the Sun.
I almost did. His name finally hit me, right? That's the right movie, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure I'm not talking about I'm accidentally talking about the one movie with Hayden Christensen called Jumper. Of all things, that
was in that movie?
There's a movie called Jumper, I think, with Hayden Christensen.
Oh, God.
Let's see. Jumper.
No, I thought I saw Jumper. I don't remember him being in it.
Yeah, he's the main character. Yeah, 2008 Jumper.
That was him?
I think that was Hayden Christensen.
Oh, my God,
yeah.
I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah. Yeah, Rachel Bilson is in it. And
that might be a good
Diane Lane, Samuel L. Jackson. Michael Rooker. Yeah. Michael Rooker. But no, so...
wow, looking at Hayden Christensen's photo on IMDb, I don't even recognize him there.
Yeah. Well, the funniest part is he's basically stopped acting now after all that. There was a big article about that, why he left acting after Star Wars.
Oh, apparently he's working again because he just did 3 movies in the last 2 years.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Okay. But it says, director Rian Johnson is going to basically go wherever the hell he wants with episodes 8 and 9. It's a big show of confidence that he's been hired to write the screenplay for both. Long-serving Star Wars screenwriter Lawrence Kasdan, who returned for The Force Awakens, is very excited to hear the new direction it's going to be headed in. The movies will all be different, and he's going to make some weird things. If you've seen Ryan's work, you know it's not going to be like anything that's ever been seen in Star Wars. You could have 3 more different people than Jay, Ryan, and Colin Trevorrow, who's going to be directing the 9th episode. So there's going to be a different director in each episode. So,
like the original films.
Yeah, and then because
Lucas only directed
the first one, Kirshner did the second one, right? And who did the third one?
That's a good question.
I can't remember off the top of my head. But Johnson also did a film called Brick. I don't know. So I'm not sure, but
Richard Marquand did Return of the Jedi.
Okay. And then, and then we have the Death Star heist thing, Rogue One, coming up in between. So this one actually...
supposed Boba Fett anthology film.
Which would be kind of cool. So, it's actually... I was mistaken earlier. I was thinking it was going to be... I said this one was going to come out in May. This one's correct. The Han Solo one, I think, is going to be even longer. I think it's 2018. So... But... So, yeah, we still got... I mean, the next few years are going to be awesome. Just anticipation for this stuff is going to be phenomenal. I'm excited for all this stuff coming up. And honestly, it's so funny because, like, I don't go to the movies very often at all. Like, I'm not overly fond of going to the movies anymore. It's just too damn expensive.
Ah, man, the Boba Fett movie's been dropped back to 2020. Well, that's because Josh Trank lost his shit. He probably got shit canned.
Oh, man. Oh, well.
Yeah. Josh Trank left to pursue some quote-unquote original creative opportunities. Yeah, he got shit canned after his shit that he pulled with Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just... I'm looking forward to all this stuff. I mean, again, I more than likely for me, really, the only movies I've seen in the theaters over the past few years have been either Star Wars now or Marvel. That's basically all I ever go into the theater for. Like, I know people...
What did I see this year?
I know people who go to the movies all the damn time.
Yeah, my friend does that.
And I'm like...
I'd like to go more often, but, you know...
I couldn't afford it.
Hard when you work Saturdays.
Yeah, I just can't afford it, man. It's just, I mean, when you go, it's like, okay, yeah, it's only $12 or whatever, but, I mean, when you go, it's like, you want to go for the whole experience, and that's like a $30 experience if you get snacks. So.
I know, it was $20 almost for a 3D.
Yeah. Or on top of that, if you go with friends and you just go to see the movie, usually that ends up meaning you're going out for food afterwards anyway, and you're spending that extra money anyway.
Yeah, but at least you're getting better food.
Yeah, that's true. But still.
I mean, a lot of times when you hang out with your friends, you're going to eat anyway, so.
True.
Might as well throw a movie on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, who was it? There was somebody. Oh, no, it was... How long ago was that now? I wound up... Brian the Claw and I were going to go see a film, and I don't remember which movie it was. I can't remember for the life of me. But he knew one of the security guards there. And this is the only time I've ever actually snuck into a theater. We bribed one of the security guards with a foot-long sandwich from Safeway. And he let us in. I don't even remember what movie it was.
That guy obviously don't care if he gets shit canned.
No! It was like we met up with the Claw's buddy, Solomon. And Solomon knew the security guard and so whatnot, so it was like to a point where, yeah, like he just basically said, "Hey, go buy me food, and I'll let you in this side door." Sweet. I don't even remember what the hell movie we saw. I got a message.
I know I snuck into a film or two in my time.
Yeah.
But I actually paid for one, and then I snuck into another.
Yeah.
That's how I saw Wreck-It Ralph. I'm like, you don't need my money. Man with the Iron Fist needs my money. You know? So I paid for Man with the Iron Fist, and was like, oh, Wreck-It Ralph starts in 20 minutes. I don't see anybody. Poof, into the theater we went. Sat all the way in the back just in case.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head what film it was.
But before you sue me, Disney, for the $14.25, I would have seen that. I own it on Blu-ray.
Yeah. So, plus you could say, I'd be like, yeah, I bought your merchandise too, so, yeah. I probably have Pop Bobbles something, so you've gotten all your money from me.
I actually do have Pop Bobbles for, Wally and Eve.
Nice.
Eva from the film.
You know what,
Wally.
I wound up, most of the time for Christmas, I don't exchange with my siblings, because now that everybody's, except for me and one of my sisters, is starting to have kids, we just buy for the kids. And I always feel bad for my little sister, because on Christmas it's mostly about her son now, and so I bought her a little pop bobble of Olaf. Because I saw it and I was like, okay, this is too cute. And so
there's only like 700 different Olafs.
I know. So, but I saw it and I was like, okay, this is kind of cute. And it's something that it's small enough where she can just, even if she wanted to mount it on her dashboard and be like a dashboard thing or something on her car. It's just something funny. Because she absolutely loves Frozen. So, it's not I've seen it once, ever.
I still haven't seen it all the way through. We've watched it how many times at work? I just never get a chance to.
Yeah, I honestly, my nephew and her watched it all the time, so I probably know more about it just from passing through and not actually sitting and watching it all the time, but just hearing the dialogue and hearing the songs. Like, I mean, I can seriously, like, again, I'm only seeing it once the whole way through, but I can definitely with certainty say is winter is perfect to curl up and cuddle, but put me in summer and I'll be a happy snowman. I mean, an Olaf song that he's singing about in summer. I mean, I know a lot of the stuff in that movie, even though I've never really physically sat down and watched it other than one time. So...
Yeah, unfortunately, I just haven't had a chance to see it. I'd like to see it all the way through at least once.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, it's I don't know. And you heard what Disneyland is doing, right? With they're basically taking out some of the Tomorrowland stuff and some of these other things, and they're making a Star Wars land in Disneyland now.
They used to have Star Wars stuff in Universal. Now I guess they got to bring it over to Disney.
Well, yeah, they did. Disney's had Star Tours for a while. And then they added some extra stuff to it, and now they're doing a whole hell of a lot more now, because Space Mountain is now called Hyperspace Mountain. And then they're
really?
Yeah, and they're changing some things. My family just went not too long ago without me, because I didn't want to go, because I was working. But they closed off a few different areas, and they're putting different things in there, so who knows what it's going to be like. But they have a Jedi training show, where like they pull kids out of the audience and train them how to use a lightsaber and stuff like that. And at one point in time, some lucky kid gets to fight Darth Vader or Darth Maul or something like that on stage.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty neat. My nephew got to go up there and do the training while he was there, and yeah, it's pretty neat, man. What they're doing, and yeah. So here's hoping it turns out good. I mean, I haven't officially been there myself since I was like maybe 11 years old, 12 years old, something like that. That was like shortly after they implemented Toontown. So, I mean, I don't know. But here's hoping that Disney does it justice. That's my main concern. Was when Disney bought it, I was hoping that the movie would be done properly. So far, it has, and I'm just hoping that all the branding and stuff continues in the proper way. I just don't want to see too much of Disney doing their own thing with Star Wars and Marvel characters and things like that too. So I don't want to see it be bubblegummed up, I guess, like a Disney thing. So
I do not blame you there at all.
So that's just me. So, man, time flies when you're having fun. Holy crap.
Indeed, that was a show.
Yeah, basically. So we were lucky enough to talk to the Tollman, Kevin Kross, for a little bit of time, and then we basically talked about Star Wars the whole time. That's pretty freaking awesome. I don't think we would have been able to do that if the Boobs was here, but he probably would have tried to.
He would have had to leave because we would have talked Star Wars.
Yeah. So, but. Oh, yeah, and I forgot to tell you, or I think I might have told you before, but I don't know if you heard, but he texted me earlier basically saying, fuck you, Scott, so...
Yeah, you told me.
Okay. So...
Watch Star Wars!
Yeah, honestly, Harry, if you're listening to this back, because you're getting it ready for to go up on the website, please go watch it. Really, seriously, go watch it. You will feel like a child again. And it will not ruin your childhood. It'll actually help the process. I really think.
Indeed, it'll help you embrace your childhood.
So, on that note,
many millennia ago that was.
Yeah, exactly. On that note, we're gonna call it a night here on Gorilla Blood Radio. Be sure to head on over once in a while. Check out Pro Wrestling 24/7 show as well. pw247.net over there. Scott, your artwork, nexusdx.deviantart.com and Instagram.
Scott NDX on Instagram.
Yes. You can find me at dkorea247 on all social media, for the most part, Facebook, Twitter. That's not really all, but whatever. So thank you, Scott. Thank you to the Tollman, Kevin Kross, for coming on. We look forward to seeing what the future holds for him. And on that note, we are going to call it a night, and hopefully you will check in with us next time around here on Gorilla Blood Radio.
Yeah, see you in the new year, everyone.
Yay! Woohoo! All right. Yay, that sounds good. All right, for the sake of it just having on here, welcome to Pro Wrestling 24/7. And we have a special guest tonight on our program, the Tollman, Kevin Kross. So, just putting that on there so Boobs has it in case he needs to clip things over.
Oh, you gotta edit a lot of my shit out.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's gonna be funky. That's why it's like certain times where like I waited for him to finish his sentence and then I said, okay, Scott, last chance. So, here's hoping it was a fun thing. And the fun part is sometimes, too, like, I'm leaving it recording right now, so as we're talking, so he gets to hear our shenanigans even afterwards, too. So.
Good.
So, but yeah, man, that was a fun one. I enjoyed this show. This was good. So.
Yeah, it was definitely a decent one, man.
So, yeah, here's hoping. Everything will, next week... Oh, that was the one thing I was going to ask you. I don't know yet what's going on, but if it came down to it, and I have to... and we had to change the taping nights of the show, what would work better for you, moving back to Tuesday or Thursday, if we had to do it? Because I'm not positive.
What's happening?
I'm not sure yet. Because... If I'm coaching again, I'm put it this way. Brian and I are actually talking about moving here possibly within the next month to Texas.
McClaw? You're friends with him again?
Oh, I've been friends with him for a while. I just don't talk to him as often because he lives out in Modesto. He lives like over an hour away. But he and I were talking about moving out to Texas, and if that doesn't go down, my coaching thing. Wednesday nights we have practice, and our practices don't end till a little after 7, almost 7:30. I mean, I can always come late. It's no big deal for me to come late. There's certain nights I know with Boobs' schedule now, I don't know what's going to happen if he's going to be around to record. So,
I don't know if he is anymore. We'd have to figure out a time to work with him, too.
Yeah, because I want to say that this week is the only week that's going to interfere. I'm not sure, and I'm sure he'll hear this and listen to us and be screaming at us like, "Hey, I told you that already," but I don't remember if it's only this week or if it's further. But I want to put that out there as a possibility. Maybe, changing the days if it comes down to it, because I know you work and your schedule is important too. So I mean, like I said, if it works better to keep it on Wednesdays, I'll show up late. Then I'll only be around for an hour. So, but then
since we're not running live anymore,
yeah, we can basically do it anytime we want.
Yeah.
So, but I just wanted to put that out there as a thought process. So if we were to change it to another day to tape, that you can at least have a thought in mind of what might work better. Because in all honesty, the way it's looking right now is I have a couple places that we're looking at. Got to check on the availabilities of when an apartment will open up out there, and then just figuring out when is the logistics of getting out there, and how much is going to cost to move everything out that way. So, but if we don't figure everything out by February, it's probably not going to happen until summer.
Okay.
Because that by the time February rolls around is when the season's around, and it's basically either I tell them now, hey, I'm not going to be coaching. You got to help. You got to go figure something out, or I'm coaching the rest of the season. Just
all right, so you figure out what you need to figure out.
So, but I just figured I'd put that out there just so you might think about it if I bring it up again, you're not caught off guard. So,
all right.
So
that's not a problem.
Yeah. Hey, you ever get a chance to watch the YouTube conspiracy videos or things like that online?
Not really my thing.
Okay. Yeah, I've been watching them a lot lately, and it's just so funny to see some of these things that people come up with, man, for different shows. Like, even like everything. Like, you watch Firefly. One of the things that they were talking about, the cast of Firefly, because they're fighting against you know the story better than I do. What are the people that are trying to capture them, or they're fighting against something?
Some sort of Republic-like thing.
Yeah. But the fun part is they were talking about it and saying something along the lines of that Republic thing is actually not the bad guys, that they are actually not really knowing what they're actually fighting for, because of the planets that they go to that aren't controlled by this Republic are actually worse off than the Republic.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was kind of funny. They're speculating on that. They speculate on there's a ton of stuff. I watched a fantasy booking thing today, and it was like basically the one guy went through and rebooked the entire invasion angle from beginning to end. I was like, holy shit, it was like almost 45 minutes of him booking everything. And I was like, damn, that would have actually been a pretty damn cool. So, who knows, but yeah, right, man. Well, it's after midnight there, so you already get some food in you and stuff too?
Yeah, I'm gonna, get some rest. I gotta see Hateful Eight tomorrow.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Well, and enjoy that, and let me know how it was, and then I will, I'm sure I will be talking to you then as the week goes on. Well, enjoy your New Year's, man.
You too.
Cool. All right, dude. Well, you take.
Much is gonna happen, but you enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, and I was just tracking I checked the tracking on the package, so it still says it should be get there by Monday, so it might arrive a day early or so, but it's already in transit from California, so.
All right, that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. I just want to make sure I get you guys each a little something. So, dude, the funniest part is the things, for some reason, yours is fine, because I sent that physically myself, but the couple of things that I I bought for Harry and for Nick, I bought from the same place and had them shipped to them directly because it just was easier that way. And yours I bought from a couple different places and brought them in. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just going to ship it to you. Well, for some stupid reason, the website I bought it from put my name and their address on the fucking packages. I'm like, God damn it. So I've already warned them. I'm like, hey, if something shows up at your house with my name on it, that's the gift for me. And it's like, God, how do you not have that fixed in this day and age?
People are idiots. Remember that.
I don't know. All right, man. Well, you enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy that movie tomorrow, man.
I will. You too, man.
All right, dude.
Speak to you soon.
All right, take it easy. We'll see it.
All right,
Peace.
bye.
Peace.